As we're choosing songs for our worship set, one of the key qualities that we look for in a good worship song is the quality of accessibility. Accessibility speaks of a song that after one or two hearings, the church quickly catches on to and remembers. That kind of song facilitates our goal, which is leading God's people to a place where they can freely respond to God's love.
I start in preparing for worship with simply the question, or the goal, I want to create a safe place for people to worship God intimately. So then I think, okay, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to do that through choosing a cluster of songs, a group of songs that I own and they can own, or they are owning.
I would just encourage people to use songs that the congregation know. That's a big one because you can be really discouraged when nobody's singing. And actually it might not be that they don't want to worship, it just might be they can't get in on the songs because they don't know them very well.
I heard one thing I quite liked, which someone said, at the end of the day, if you choose songs that you enjoy worshipping to, then he doesn't think God minds and people just respond in worship. I don't know if I fully agree, but I think there's some truth that if we just choose songs that people will be able to worship God to and respond to, then that's surely got to be a good thing.
There is a wonderful mix of spiritual hearing combined with earthly wisdom that goes into preparing a worship set. So relax. Sometimes we can over-spiritualize the process of creating an effective worship set. Take your time and trust yourself to hear the voice of God as you plan.
A lot of times I don't get any very specific input from God. I'd say most of the time I don't feel like He tells me to do a certain song. And so for me, it's more of an issue of what songs do I have faith for? What songs have I seen work in the context in which I'm going to be leading?
The way that I get together my worship sets normally is I'll sit down at the piano and I'll play some songs, and just whatever comes into my heart, I'll just write it on a page and work it into a set. Sometimes I don't have the time to do that, being totally honest, and I'll sit down and flick through my folder, and songs that just jump out at me, I'll go, oh, okay, and I'll take those and make them into a set. That's how I pick the songs. How I make it into a set very often will depend on what keys they're in. And it doesn't sound very spiritual at all, but this is just the way that I do it.
I'm out somewhere, or I'm at home in my home office, and I just start, as I'm praying and reflecting, I just start literally jotting down song titles that come to my mind. And then I start making observations. Well, is there a theme emerging here?